All right, so you found my channel. You want to invest in Bryan, College Station. You want to invest in Texas, but you're not from Bryan or College Station. You don't live here, or maybe you haven't lived here since you graduated from A&M years ago. Well, don't worry, I've got you covered, because today we're going to go over my top 6 neighborhoods for out-of-town investors. This will help you pick the best neighborhood to invest in to grow your ROI in my favorite towns of Bryan and College Station, Texas. Guys, this is going to be a good one. Don't forget, at the end of this video, I will have bonus content, our client questions just for you. We will have that included at the end of every single episode, so be sure to watch till the very end to get that extra little bit of advice to maximize your ROI. Very important to note that this is not a ranked order, so we're just going to jump into each one of these neighborhoods and tell you why I like them. But without further ado, here's the list. Guys, in no particular order, each one of these neighborhoods has their own unique value. Here are my top 6 neighborhoods. Steeplechase and Southwood for great value add in College Station. Meadows and Edelweiss Gartens, amazing duplexes again in College Station. Edgewater is in Bryan and is an awesome newer built neighborhood close to a lot of amenities. The Oaks is one of your older neighborhoods in Bryan, but close to campus with a lot of value add. The Pleasant Hill neighborhood is a little bit removed from Bryan, but it's a brand new neighborhood with a lot of incentives. And last but not least, North Bryan, often overlooked, which means you can get some great deals, some lower price points, and still a lot of rental demand. Let's jump into each one of these neighborhoods in depth so you know exactly which neighborhood fits your buying criteria the best. Our first neighborhood is near and dear to my heart because where I bought my first investment property when I moved to town when I was house hacking a 4-plex. We're talking about the Steeplechase and Southwood Valley neighborhoods located in College Station. Geographically speaking, they are south of Harvey Mitchell between Wellborn and Texas Avenue. That means that you're bookended by an H-E-B on one side and a Walmart on the other, so plenty of places to choose from for shopping and restaurants around those two shopping centers. Now, what I like about the neighborhood is it has a lot to offer when it comes to value add. The majority of the neighborhood was built in the 1980s up to the early 1990s, and it has everything from single families to duplexes to 4-plexes, even a few apartment complexes if you're into that kind of thing. When it comes to the duplexes, they're now selling between $250,000 and $300,000, and with some elbow grease, you can get them renting out for between $1,100 and $1,200 per side. The 4-plexes are going to run you between $400,000 and $450,000, and again, with some upgrades, you can get $1,000 per unit. I really like the single family houses, particularly right now in 2025. If you've seen my other videos, you know that we have a large supply of single family currently on the market, so you can get a good deal. So you can buy a house under its market value and then force appreciation through some cosmetic update. These single family houses are generally built in the 1980s. They're around 1,700 square feet, and you can get one for well under $300,000. The average price right now is $295,000. These rent out for around $1,900 to $2,100 per month. However, with some upgrades, I'm sure you can get $22,000 to $23,000 depending on how much money you want to put in. So yes, the rent to purchase price ratio is not the best, but the equity gain through a cosmetic rehab, which is really easy to do if you're living in California or New York or Florida. So guys, this is a great way to do a light rehab for some equity and be in a high demand neighborhood, of course, in the College Station ISD. Speaking of the College Station ISD, that's going to bring us to our second neighborhood. So the second neighborhoods are going to be some of my favorite duplex neighborhoods, and that's Meadows and Edelweiss Gartens. Now, Edelweiss Gartens also has single family houses, but I'm focused right now on the duplexes. I love these duplexes for my out-of-state investors because they're in high demand. They were built in the early 2000s. The average age of these things are about 2005, and they rent out extremely easily with very little update. You see, by putting maybe $10,000 into each side, you should be able to push rents between $1,600 and $1,800 per side. For my math whizzes out there, that means you're bringing in $3,200 to $3,600 in total on a duplex, and that's going to cost you right around $400,000 to pick one up. So it's a pretty good rent to price ratio, especially considering that we're talking about a 2000s built asset in a high demand area, again, College Station ISD. These neighborhoods are located just south of Southwood Valley, off of Graham Road, again, located between Wellborn and Texas Avenue. We are in the midst of College Station, so you are very convenient to multiple H-E-Bs, a Kroger, Walmart, and all kinds of restaurants. Guys, this is an awesome location, and it will be in high demand for years to come. If you haven't watched my video on Bryan versus College Station, what I'm about to tell you might surprise you. But for my loyal subscribers, you already know that my next neighborhoods are all in Bryan, because right now in 2025, Bryan shows a lot of promise. And that's why my next neighborhood is the Edgewater neighborhood, which, by the way, I've already done a full video on, so I will give you the wave tops. Edgewater is a newer neighborhood built really from 2016 to today. It's still being built. You can get new built houses there. It's located just off of Villa Maria, which means it has really easy access to Relish campus, the medical campus, Lake Walk, and Texas A&M. Right down the street, you have a Walmart, Wings and More. You have a Chick-fil-A, a gym, banks, car washes, Dutch Brothers, everything that a renter could want, which makes it a high demand neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood is mostly single families with, again, existing and some new builds. The primary builder out there is Stylecraft. They're a regional builder who started here in College Station. The houses, again, were built really since 2016. You're looking at houses right around 1,750 square feet, and the average price is $315,000. However, you can get deals in the neighborhood as low as $220,000, and the average rent is $2,000. So in this neighborhood, whether you want a slightly used house, again, only a few years old, or you want something brand new with that builder warranty and those builder incentives, Edgewater is a place you definitely need to check out. This next neighborhood was the biggest surprise of 2024 and wasn't even on my radar until I happened to run across the house and share it with one of my out-of-town investors. You see, he was looking for something that would be a good deal, a good price to rent ratio, and relatively hands-off. So we started looking at new built neighborhoods, and Pleasant Hill is just that. It's located off of 2018, not far from Bryan, but because it is a little bit further outside of town, you can get some pretty good prices. It is a brand new built neighborhood. So you have three different builders, Lennar, D.R. Horton, Stylecraft, and they're all fighting over who will be the builder of your choice, meaning there's a lot of builder incentives to buy these new homes. The average home up there is a 2023. Again, it's a brand new neighborhood still being built. The average house is 1,800 square feet and will cost you right around $300,000. Now, my clients are able to lease these out between $2,000 and $2,200. And again, it's that neighborhood with all the neighborhood feels. So yes, there's an HOA, but it comes with a pool, and they're planning on putting in a park and walking trails and all of the fun stuff. Guys, I think this is an excellent play for anyone who wants to be hands-off but still wants a good cash flowing property. Pleasant Hill has a lot to offer to my investors out there. The biggest drawback to these brand new neighborhoods, and although I think they're a great deal, is you can't really force appreciation. What I mean by that is you can't do any value add. You can't rehab the property to increase its value. But the next neighborhood is prime for that. The next neighborhood is again in Bryan, and it's called The Oaks. It's located between 29th Street and Highway 6, between University and Briarcrest. It has Bryan High School right there in the corner, and smack dab in the middle, you have an elementary school. So it really has that established neighborhood vibe that a lot of renters are looking for. The value add component comes in because most of these houses were built in the 1970s. Your renovation isn't too bad on a house of that age, and the square foot being between 16 and 1,800 square feet is small enough that your renovation budget shouldn't be too large if you're gonna do things like replace the flooring or repaint the entire thing. You can get these houses under $300,000, and ARVs, that means after repair value, is well into the 300K range. So it's a great opportunity for that. The one downside, the one drawback to the Oaks is your rent to price ratio isn't the best. You see, your rent rates are usually somewhere between $2,100 and $2,200 fixed up, and you're probably not cash flowing super strong at those numbers. So it's definitely an equity play. But what I like about it is it's only 10 minutes to the university. So it's a neighborhood that's going to enjoy all the economic growth associated with Texas A&M, of course, the second largest university in the nation. Now, if you are a baller on a budget, if you want to value add at a lower price point, if you want something that would possibly cash flow, I'm going to take you up to North Bryan. North Bryan, so called because it's located north of Highway 21, is between Texas Avenue and Highway 6. It's actually a collection of neighborhoods. So you have some neighborhoods that are brand new build and others that have been there since the 1960s. Now, because of its location and the diversity of the houses up there, the prices are a little bit less expensive. So you can get your average house for around $225,000. It's probably going to be about 1,400 square feet, and again, be built in the 60s, 70s, or 80s. Now, that same house should rent for between $1,600 and $1,800. And because of the diversity of the houses, there is a lot of value add potential. Case in point, a house I bought about 2 years ago on Kim Street. It's 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1-bath with a 1-car garage. We picked it up for $110,000, put about $30,000 to $40,000 into it. So we're all in at about $140,000 to $150,000, and it rents out for $1,450 every single month. Our renters have been there for the last 2 years and just let us know they're going to be renewing for another year. So there are opportunities up there in that neighborhood, great value add opportunities and price points that are a little bit friendlier for those folks, particularly just getting started. Whether you want a 2000s built duplex in Edelweiss Gardens in College Station or a $110,000 value add house in North Bryan, there are some great opportunities in Bryan and College Station, Texas. That brings us to our bonus content and our client question, because you should be asking yourself, Greg, it's great that there's all these great houses, but who's going to help get it rent ready? Who's going to help list it for lease? Who's going to screen the tenants? And who's going to manage the dang thing? Well, thank you for asking. Actually, we will. You and Schwartz Realty Group together will help you make the most money out of your property. This is what we propose. Let us help you find the house. Let us help you manage the make ready. Let us help you get the property listed for lease. Let us help you screen the tenants. And then ultimately, let us help you self-manage the property. Guys, this proven system will save you thousands of dollars every year as opposed to going with a generic property manager. That's right. Even a property manager can't get the rent rates and the quality of tenants that we can over here at Schwartz Realty Group. We're here to help you maximize your ROI as a long distance investor. Feel free to reach out. All my contact information is in the description below. And guys, as always, you know we have a new video every single week. So until then, take it easy.